Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So today we are on the Supermarket Simulator mods page and we are on the popular all-time section. And I wanted to check this out because obviously, the mods have been out for quite some time. There's been tons of updates, certain things that have been obsolete, stuff like that. I wanted to take a look at the popular all-time screen because I wager a lot of people probably get their mods from here. If they're looking for like the most popular mods in the game, this is probably where people go. So I wanted to take a look, talk about some of the mods that they have listed here, and really discussed if some of these are the best mods this game has to offer. Now, the results might be a bit skewed because I guess popularity really goes by like how many times it was downloaded or thumbs up or anything like that. So there's going to be some things that are kind of here as a given because they were around earlier than pretty much everything else. So for example, Bepinex, obviously we don't really need to talk about whether or not this is the best mod because it is literally like everybody needs it. If you're going to download mods for this game, you absolutely must have it. So this obviously we can't include that. But let's talk about some of these other ones and whether they're actually even relevant or not. So starting off with RDC Stock Manager, some people have argued that this mod is still pretty relevant. Personally, I don't really think so. I kind of like the way the new update has kind of set things up to show you what's available in the store. I don't know. Some people still like the fact that this shows you both, your storage and your like what's in the back. But instead, the new game gives you like a wholesome number of the total amount of that product you have, whether it's in the back or the front, which is essentially the same thing. But some people still like to keep them separate. So like this store and then warehouse, as opposed to just one total number that tells you everything, which is what the new update does. So I kind of prefer the new update, and any opportunity to like get rid of mods that I don't really need anymore, I usually take it. The only other thing I can say that this mod might be useful for is they have this little RDC stock manager menu that you can bring up. I think with like, I think it's like F8 or something like that. I can't remember. It's either, it's one of those buttons. It might be Q actually to bring this up, but you bring up this menu and you can sort your items in your menu. And this comes in handy, particularly if you're using very specific licenses and you're only selling certain things. You can like sort out your items and it'll sort the stuff that you actually have in stock. So you don't have to scroll through the whole list in order to, see things you don't even actually use. Otherwise, I have pretty much dubbed this mod obsolete. It can be useful in some instances, but overall, not really. No max order limit. This one is still pretty useful, especially if you're ordering items up into the 100s or whatever. They did up the order limit from 10 to 50, which is good and is actually sufficient. But like, I mean, chances are if you're in the in-game, you're ordering way more than that. So this is still pretty useful. Portable scanner has been dubbed obsolete by the person who made it, so I guess that's not really a conversation to even have because there is now currently a portable scanner in the game. Better cashier. This one basically just speeds up the cashiers on the overall. If you're going to be using employee training program, then this is probably obsolete. But if you're not using employee training program, I would say that this might be still kind of useful. The problem is though, the last update for this mod, Better Cashier, was the 30th of March. That is a long time ago, so there's a pretty good chance that either this mod does not still function or does not function as well as it used to. So we'll have to get some feedback on that one to see. But I mean, if you want to just make your cashiers faster without using an employee training program, then I guess you could use this if it still works, that is. Next one is the auto price updater. I mean, I still use it, and I still know a lot of other people who use it, even though they've added a new, more functional way to actually go in and price things. I think this mod is still pretty useful, although there is a new mod that recently came out that I think will be a good competitor for this mod, and that'll be a different separate video on its own. I'll compare the two, but this one might actually have some competition, and this mod has been around for quite some time. So next one is easy delivery. This has kind of been a staple in the game for a long time. Basically allows you to either auto rack or send things manually to the back. A lot less relevant now than it used to be because your employees pick up stuff off the curb. It just makes this not really as useful. It still has its uses sometimes, and I still use it every now and then from time to time, but for the most part, this one I can say is pretty much obsolete. Texture replacer is a constant in this game. This will always be useful as long as people are still making textures. But recently, the more products mod has been kind of reigning supreme, and people are kind of stepping away from texture changes and stepping into new products. Now, that being said, you can still texture replace on new products. So, like I said, this mod is pretty much still useful if you want to go in and swap textures yourself. So I don't see this one going anywhere anytime soon. Smart pocket boxes is still very useful because boxes are still something that you need, and it's nice to be able to get them on the fly. And it's updated. Well, it was updated in September, but I mean, it still works just fine. I haven't had any issues with it, so it's fine to me. Store delivery adds an option on the Market app in the purchase window to place product boxes on racks in the storage automatically right after delivery. Now, this one, I can't really speak on that much because I don't think I've ever used it. Now, Easy Delivery actually does this too, if I remember correctly. I think Easy Delivery had a setting for you to do this, and I think this is just that setting standalone mod. I'd have to try this out to use it. I can see it being useful, yeah. If it still functions properly the way it says it does or whatever, then yeah, if you don't want your street to get cluttered, as long as there's room for boxes on your shelves, this will automatically send it to the shelves, which can't really complain about that. Next up is storage expansion. This one used to be extremely useful, but nowadays not so much. If you are really going completely crazy with your storage and you just like to have a ton of stuff back there, which honestly I don't really recommend, then I guess you can get the storage expansion. But as far as I'm concerned, this mod is pretty much useless because they've already expanded the storage, and you probably shouldn't keep too many things in your back room anyway, because you're just kind of hoarding money back there. And, you know, that's a little counterproductive if you want to progress in the game. Night Glow Auto Switch mod, these are always good. It just turns the light on for you at the right time. You don't have to think about it or worry about it. Out of sight, out of mind. Still do recommend. It should still work just fine. Delivery Organizer is a lot less relevant nowadays. Delivery Organizer was almost necessary early on, so your boxes can be kind of stacked up neatly and you didn't have to worry about that huge mess up front. Nowadays, that's not much of an issue because the boxes kind of stack themselves up front. This mod does have some separate features like no purchase limit, but we already talked about that being a completely separate mod. So really, this one you can probably safely store in the obsolete section. Refill storage is very useful. This thing is still useful. Basically, once you get into the end game, you're clicking 1,000 different items trying to fill your cart or whatever, and basically what this does is it reads your back shelves, sees how many spaces are available, and it'll order as many packages as you need according to how much space you have in your back room, so you will never ever over order. This one's great. It's been updated. Actually, maybe not specifically this one. There's another one that refills your storage, and it's not this one though. Hold on, let me find it real quick. It's not on the main page, so I probably shouldn't be talking about it, but I think it's better than this one, so this one might actually be the obsolete one. Yeah, rack refill. Here it is. So there's refill storage, which was the OG one. This was the one that came out initially. Rack refill is the new one. This one I know for a fact works. This one I'm pretty sure doesn't. Let me see here. When was it updated? Yeah, in April. Yeah, there's a pretty good chance this is obsolete and doesn't work. But the other mod that does the same thing is good. So go ahead and check that one out. More customers. This mod right here, it's had an extensive history in this game, and it was pretty good for a while, but this mod is notorious for breaking people's games and making it to where you could go a day and literally just get one customer. It hasn't been updated for quite some time, and it's been having this problem for a while now. So there are other customer-based mods that increase the amount of customers you get. That is not this one. Highly recommend you stop using this. It's been buggy. It still is buggy from the messages and stuff that I get from people. There are much better mods you can use than this one. Like, for example, a simple customer booster is a good replacement for more customers. So currency changer, change the display currency in the game. This is basically just like a variation of texture replacement, so we don't really need to talk about that one too much. Let's see here. We got more cloned restockers. This one allowed you to just clone in and spawn more restockers on top of the ones you had. I think it had a lot of potential to make your game laggy and also mess up your restockers kind of behavioral patterns. I haven't used it in a while, and it hasn't been updated since April. Honestly, I don't really recommend it. You can just use employee training program instead, and that'll basically increase the capabilities of your restockers. On top of that, you have 6 restockers available now instead of 4, so I would say this one is probably obsolete. Store customizer, this one hasn't been updated since April, but it is just a simple store customizer. I think you can go and customize the walls and the floor how you like without actually having to buy the paint and stuff. I don't know if this still works or not, so honestly I can't really speak on whether or not this is still useful. I'd never used anything like this to begin with, nor have I really had the desire to, so I'll let whoever's been using this speak on that in the comments, because I genuinely just don't really know. Outside of that, we got the fast forward mod here, which has always been pretty useful. It was uploaded once and pretty much updated once, and that's been it. If you want the game to move a bit faster, fast forward mod is definitely for you. Although there are some kind of weird side effects the faster you speed up the game, so just be mindful of that. Use it wisely, but I would say this is still useful. And then last but not least, on the main page for the all-time popular, we have the more freezers, and basically I think this one added deeper freezers, if I remember correctly. Your store is growing and the default no longer fits your need. Time for a change. Yeah, okay. So basically this one, it made the freezer deeper so you can fit more stuff into it. I'm not sure if this is actually valid or still useful now. Sometimes furniture-based mods really give you a bit of trouble, and this thing hasn't been uploaded since April, or updated since April. I don't really know. I can't really make a call on this one. I genuinely don't like, or generally don't really like furniture-based mods because they tend to cause a lot of issues in your game. If anybody can verify if this one still works or not, let me know. Otherwise, that is pretty much all of the new mods. Well, not new mods, but that's all the all-time popular mods on the page. We went through each one to let you know, what they're about, if they're still useful or not. Now, once again, the whole point of this exercise was to emphasize the fact that just because this says popular does not mean that these mods are useful or popular. They maybe were at some point in time. They may have been downloaded quite a bit, but you can't just trust everything that's here. So the more likely one to pay attention to would be the 30-day popular one, because this will be populated with mods that have been voted popular within this time frame, within the 30-day time frame. This is much more of an accurate representation of mods that are currently popular. And then obviously you would go to latest to see all the newest stuff, and then trending is also pretty decent sometimes to give you a good idea of what you should be looking at downloading nowadays. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of go over that because I feel like this may have tripped a couple people up. I feel like a lot of people go here to look for mods, and it's not really super reliable, to be perfectly honest. So anyway, hopefully this video was helpful to you guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Are there any mods that are your absolute favorite mods? Any mods that you would absolutely recommend? Put them down in the comment section below. Please share any mods that you can confirm still work that we talked about today. Definitely put that down in the comments. And then, yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys on the next one.